Most people don't realize this, but most of the pain we experience in life, it's not because something didn't work out. It's usually because we are attached to a particular way we wanted it to work out. We are attached to a particular outcome. Today, I want to talk about detachment, not the cold, heartless type of detachment. No, that's not what we're talking about today. The kind of detachment that protects your peace, your dignity, and your sense of self. If you're in a position where you're struggling to let go of a person, an outcome, a particular version of life you imagine for yourself, this video is for you. Let's get into it. Attachment. When you say someone is attached to something or someone, it's not love. I want us to cancel that. It's usually just you depending on a particular outcome to define who you are. You depend on a particular outcome to define your value. You depend on a particular outcome to regulate how you feel about your own self. That's what we call attachment. Let's look at it psychologically. Attachment forms when you depend on something outside of you to determine how you feel inside. That thing slowly becomes responsible for your emotional stability. So you feel stable or unstable based on how that thing reacts or behaves. It could be a person, it could be a relationship, it could be a job, a business, it could be money, you could be attached to validation, or it could even be a dream you've over identified with. A particular dream, everybody knows that this is what this person is. You become attached to either that identity or ambition. When you get so attached to something, then that thing becomes unstable. Your nervous system automatically goes to survival mode because, okay, we have a problem. Immediately, your mind starts saying, what if I lose? What if it doesn't work? What if it changes? What if it breaks? What if this thing doesn't happen? This thing that I've been waiting for all my life, what if it doesn't happen? What does this thing say about me? Your mind just goes to survival mode. So, usually, when you feel attached, it's not a weakness, it's just your brain trying to protect you. But where the whole problem is, you're asking something unstable because you're not the one who is in control of it. So you're depending on something unstable to give you stability. That's where the disconnect happens with attachment. That's exactly where suffering begins. The misconception is that we get attached to good things or good people. You don't get attached to someone because they're good. You get attached to someone because they feel a gap. That gap in you could be emotional neglect, it could be loneliness, fear of starting over, fear of not being chosen, fear of wasted time. And usually, when someone gives you inconsistent affection, it creates attachment. So you realize that we're not attached to good things. Usually, we get attached to things that are not even good for us. At that point, your brain starts chasing relief. That's not love, that's just conditioning. And this exact same thing is not just about people, it also applies to outcomes that we get attached to. When you get attached to a particular outcome, if you set a goal and you're so attached to it, you start measuring your worth based on that outcome. You start measuring your value based on that outcome. You tell yourself that if this thing works, it means I'm normal, I'm okay. If this thing doesn't work, it means I have a problem. It means I'm not fine. It means I'm not enough. And that's exactly why detachment usually feels so hard. Because usually it's not just one thing or one person you're supposed to let go of. It's like you're letting go of your identity. It's like you're letting go of what defines you. It starts becoming like you're letting go of your own value. The only thing you believe to be true about you, you have to let go of it. That's why it feels so hard to detach. You've built a whole identity around someone, or you've built a whole identity around a job, or you've built a whole identity around a particular business. And it's like if you detach yourself from that business, who are you at that point? That's why it's so hard to detach. And here's a part nobody really talks about. This thing called detachment, it actually feels like grief. It feels like grief because you are mourning. It's actually you mourning what you imagined, what you hoped for, the version of yourself that you had already seen inside the outcome. There is something you already knew about your life. You could see it clearly, and now you have to let go of it. Apparently, maybe it would never happen or it will not happen the same way. It's grief. It's actually a painful process. And the thing with our bodies is they don't know the difference between a real loss and just the loss of a future that never happened, the loss of a future that died. Your body cannot tell the difference. So when you try to detach, your nervous system automatically starts panicking because at that point, it feels like you're giving up safety. It feels like something is actually wrong because your nervous system doesn't pick it up that we are detaching from something that isn't even real yet. It feels like a real loss. You get into panic mode. That's why so many of us say, I know I should let go, but I just can't. You know that this thing is not good for you, but for some reason, you just cannot leave it. You can, you actually can. It's just your body is in a position where it needs reassurance. And once you reassure your body, your mind would follow. So this pain you feel from detachment, it's real. It's not just imaginary pain, it's real. But you need to regulate your body first. Your mind will follow naturally. So this whole detachment thing is not a mental process. It's not about you being strong-willed or it's not about you being weak. It's a regulation process. And until you understand that, it will be so hard for me to detach from that thing that you're attaching yourself to right now. Detachment is not about you stopping to care. You not caring is not detachment. That's not what we're talking about. It's not about you shutting down emotionally. Nope. That's not detachment. It's not about you becoming cold and unavailable. Most times that's even fake. That is not detachment. It's not also about you just pretending you don't want things. If you want something, you want it. If you want it, you want it. You cannot pretend that you don't want something. That's not detachment. That's why it's paining you too much. So finally, what is detachment? It's actually just caring without self-abandonment. It's actually just caring without self-abandonment, and that's possible. So it's like saying, I desire this thing, but if it doesn't happen, I'll not collapse. I want this thing. I like this business. I can do this. But if it doesn't work out, nobody will die. I'll not collapse. It will not be the end of my life. That's actually where the power lies. You don't detach from effort. So it's not about you not trying. You don't detach from that effort. You just detach from that entitlement to a specific outcome. Don't don't obsess over a specific outcome. The moment you can focus on your input and detach yourself from the output, you've won in life. You've won. Let me explain how this looks in real life practically. The first thing you need to think about is to shift from outcome to input. Shift your focus from the outcome to the input. So instead of asking yourself, is this working? You can instead ask yourself, am I doing my best? Am I showing up in alignment? Am I doing everything I'm supposed to do to ensure that there is a good outcome for me? Am I playing my part? Am I playing my role? That's all that should matter to you. That's what you should focus on because at the end of the day, that's all you can control. The second thing you need to consider is you just stop negotiating with reality. If someone, for example, shows you inconsistency, disinterest, disrespect. Don't argue with the evidence. Like, stop making excuses for people. If someone is inconsistent, the person is not interested in you. It's that simple. It's not even complicated. We're just making this thing look like rocket science. Don't argue with reality because that's our specialty. People who attach easily, that's their specialty. Oh no, she did not text because, oh no, she did this because, maybe this person is a bit busy. Maybe he was really. This whole detachment thing begins when you stop romanticizing potential. Like, don't look at potential and already imagine what could be. There's nothing like what could be. What is it now? What's happening right now? What happened today? It's not about what could possibly, oh no, that doesn't exist. What's going on right now as we speak? Now, what's up? The third thing you practically do is to build a whole life out of the thing you've attached yourself to. And that's why I started talking about try not to attach your entire identity to a particular thing. It might be your business, your career, a person, your partner, a goal. Some of you have goals that even have dates on them. If I don't do this on this day, this day, this day, it means I'm a nobody. Build a whole life away from that thing. So that can be an important thing. I'm not disputing that. You can have a life out of that. Something to just take your mind away from that thing. The fact that you're dating someone doesn't mean you shouldn't have friends, for example. Some of you abandon your friends when you started. That's another topic. And the thing is, attachment really thrives in emptiness. When your life is empty, it's easy to attach yourself to one thing that looks too relevant. When you have a full life, detachment thrives. You don't even try. You don't try. Don't you realize that when you're busy, there are certain things that you even forget to do? Certain things that you used to really attach yourself to. Once you have a life, you have things going on, you just realize that it's easier for you not to focus too much on those things that you used to focus on, as though your life depended on them. So just try to fill up your life. Try to fill up your life with different things, other things. There's so much to do. Because the more focused you are on yourself, the more grounded you are on yourself, the harder it is for you to cling to someone or something or whatever that is. It's really hard. Once you're obsessed about yourself, you have to do your facials, you have to do your nails, you have to visit your friend, you have 12 voice notes to send to your friends, you have things going on. It's so hard for you to be attached to something irrelevant. And what we really need to remember is that what is meant for you will not require you to suffer. It will not require you to chase. It will not require you to shrink. It will not require you to be frustrated. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. You will not have to struggle to keep it. If something is meant for you, it will feel easy and natural. It will just be there. Sometimes you don't even understand why it's there or how it came about. It will just be there. The moment you feel like you have to suffocate, you're struggling, you have to make an effort, it's not for you, we'll leave it. Peace is not boring. Peace is regulated because we usually feel like if something is so peaceful, it means it's boring. No, the ones that come with peace, those are the ones that are regulated. So if you're in a position where you're struggling with attachment, I don't want you to think you're weak. Mm-mm. It just shows that you care deeply. You really care deeply. Maybe you cared in the wrong way, but it shows that you're human and you actually did care, or you do care. You're still attached. But now we need to switch it up. It's time to care deeply about yourself. You can care about others, but care about yourself too. That's where the difference is. You're attached because you care about others and you do not care about yourself. You care about your job and you do not care about yourself. If you want to be detached to that thing or that person, you can care about them, but you need to care about yourself more. That more. And the thing is, you don't even lose anything by letting go of what doesn't align. It's not like you're going to lose anything. I don't know how to put that in you right now, but you just need to keep in mind that you're not losing anything. What are you losing? It's not even yours anyway. You instead gain clarity, you gain self respect. Do you know how it will feel to actually move away from something that wasn't yours or something that was so disrespectful to you? Doesn't that make you feel good about yourself? You respect yourself better when you can just detach. And the most important part to me is that it creates space for something way better. Oh, that's my best part. Because every time something useless shifts, something useful comes in. It's so real in my life, and I wish everybody can experience this. Every single time you think you're losing something, and you finally make peace with losing that thing, something bigger and better is on the way. Sometimes it's just standing close, waiting for you to just turn around, but you're there facing the wrong direction. The thing that's waiting for you is just standing here, and you're looking this way. Turn your head. I need you to just sit with this truth. Let it sink in. And if this resonated with you in any way, take your time. The thing with healing is you don't need to rush it. Once you already know where the problem is, what the problem is, and what to do, it will align. You don't need to rush. Just relax. I'll see you in the next one.